Hello again. Today is Wednesday, August the 20th, 2014, and it's about 4 o'clock my time. This is the second video on the new computer, and a little calmer, a little bit more at ease, and have got the kinks worked out, I think. Hope I do anyway. We'll see what happens as we progress here, but just wanted to continue to talk a little bit about what's going on in Ferguson Township, Missouri, and what's happening in particular with the government out of Jefferson City, Missouri, and the establishment there, the police state, and in particular the militarization of our police forces as it stands there in the state of Missouri, in the Show Me State. I struggle a little bit with the subject of this particular video because of my anger towards the police state, towards the establishment between Jefferson City, Missouri and Washington, D.C. To be frank and honest with you, as I look at it and as I see it, there doesn't seem to be a dime's worth of difference. And there's been no real fronting, if you will. There's been nobody to really come to the forefront, nobody to come from the forefront as far as the establishment is concerned. Yes, the establishment has appointed this Ron Johnson, the captain of the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and him. I think they have another Charles Moose, if you will. I don't know if you remember him or not, but he was the chief that was involved in the D.C. sniper case back in 2002. African-American gentleman, fine gentleman. I've met him a few times and spoke with him a couple of times off and on over the years. Very exceptional individual, very well spoken, well versed about the laws in our state and in our land, basically. And he is one of the ones that was chiefly responsible for bringing John Allen Muhammad and Lee Malvo to justice. And I think that is what, or at least what Jay Nixon is going for. Another Charles Moose, if you will, in the form of Ron Johnson. I don't know how successful he will be so far and to date. In my humble opinion, he's not been. I don't understand, because it will be basically a week ago tomorrow, and that's Thursday, August the 21st. It will be a week since Jay Nixon ordered Ron Johnson to put boots on the ground, and protesters, peaceful protesters that are walking around the streets of Ferguson, in particular Canfield Drive and West Florissant Road, are getting tear gassed, getting smoke grenaded, getting rubber bulletized, getting shoved, run over by police with police vehicles, etc. That's no winning cause. That's most certainly no establishment of dialogue and community policing, which is what police are supposed to be all about, is community policing and protecting and serving the community, working with the community. Ron Johnson claimed a week ago today, when he put foot to ground, that he was going to take ownership of this issue by order and decree of the governor of the state of Missouri, and that he was a native Fergusonian, and he was there, his family was there, his children go to school there, he works in that community, he's in charge, he's established, he's set tone, he's set pace, he's going to be there. And it was immediately thereafter, pretty much, that he began to walk with the protesters, and basically what I call the Great American Hug Out. The Hug It Out, I don't know if you have been keeping up with the news or not, Hillary Clinton and President Obama said that they were going to get together in Martha's Vineyard and hug it out, quote unquote. And that's what I called it, because there were some pictures taken and that was put up on social media of Captain Ron Johnson going down and marching with the people and protesters, and hugging this one and that one along the street as he was walking, basically on Canfield in West Florissant. That seems to be where the protests have amassed between those two roads, because apparently Michael Brown spent the majority of his time on those two streets. I don't know if he went elsewhere in Ferguson Township or not, but that seemed to be where he hung out and where most of his friends were, and most of his family is between Canfield and West Florissant. West Florissant Road is also famous for Miss Robbie Montgomery's Sweetie Pies. I don't know if you've ever watched Sweetie Pies or not on the Oprah Winfrey Network. It's a great show, great reality TV show. And West Florissant Road in Ferguson Township is where Miss Robbie Montgomery is from. And that's where her people are. That's where her son is at, her grandson is at. And pretty much her whole family has spent the majority of their time there in West Ferguson Township, Missouri. But I just find it funny that apparently that's what Jay Nixon and them are going for. And then, respectfully, I've been paying attention to what St. Louis Alderman Antonio French has been saying. I've been watching that man, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I don't know what it is about the man. I never met him. As far as I know, he's never met me. But I know people, and I know people real well. I'm a good judge of character, and he doesn't strike me as somebody who's on the up and up. That's somebody else who has, quote unquote, took ownership of this issue, the death, the murder of Michael Brown Jr. He said that I am here and that I'm in charge, and that Ferguson Township, Missouri has representation out of the city of St. Louis. And the St. Louis Metro and St. Louis County, they've got representation, and I'm here and I'm in charge, and I'm going to take care of it, and I live here and my family lives here and I work here and my kids go to school and blah blah, etc., etc. And yeah, he's been out there with the protesters marching along here and there and trying to keep the peace between the quote unquote outside agitators and the out-of-towners and all the other buzzwords and code words that the establishment loves to use. We are American citizens just like you, okay? Free, equal, and over 21. Most of us, okay? Now, yeah, you've got the ones out here, the looters, the rioters, the this and thaters, whatever you want to call them. But, folks, if you're worth your salt as far as a law enforcement officer is concerned, one of the very first things that you're going to do before you ever leave the office is make sure that you've got a handful of bench warrants, especially in a time of quote-unquote national emergency, distress, chaos, confusion, turmoil, discord, disunification, whatever terminology that you want to throw out there, okay? You're going to make sure that before you leave the office, you've got a fistful, 2 fistfuls of bench warrants from a judge, federal, state, local, whatever. And you're going to go out, and the minute that you see a quote-unquote outside agitator, quote-unquote rioter, quote-unquote out-of-towner, quote-unquote troublemaker, you're going to snatch them up off the street and you're going to say, by order and by decree of Judge so-and-so, you are under arrest for this, that, and the other thing. Here is a warrant for your arrest. Because you've sown discord, you've sown chaos, you've sown confusion, you broke out a storefront window, you looted a store, you looted a person, you stole a member of the press's camera or their microphone or other recording devices, or you chucked a rock at a member of the press, and we saw you with our own 2 eyes, and therefore here and now you are under arrest where you stand. And you're going to take that individual or individuals off the street immediately. And you're going to leave the peaceful protesters, the ones who are just simply going down the street between Canfield and West Florissant, where apparently you want them to stay. Apparently the mayor of Ferguson Township wants them to stay. And you're going to allow them to chant and rant, hands up, don't shoot, hey, hey, ho, ho, whatever. Peacefully, calmly, rationally, reasonably, and you're going to leave them be. And you're not going to lay a finger to them. And you're going to allow them to exercise their free and equal and well-endowed and well-earned right to peacefully and lawfully assemble and protest. Protest the murder of Michael Brown Jr., because that's what happened. Michael Brown Jr. was murdered on the streets of Ferguson Township, and he was murdered on the watch of Antonio French and Ronald Johnson. You say, gentlemen, that you want to be in charge and that you're here and you've got foot to ground and this is your place and your community, blah-de, blah, blah, blah. Great, fine, wonderful. Do that. But while you're at it, own up to the death of Michael Brown. Tell us why you would allow a member of the law enforcement community to shoot in cold blood an 18-year-old young man and not have anything to say about it. You say, well, Ron Johnson, you know, he said, I'm sorry. The little unity rally. Great, fine, wonderful. Unity rallies are wonderful. I'm all for it. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Maybe that's ownership. Maybe that's his way of owning it. But to me, it's not good enough. Those 2 gentlemen have to answer. They say that they're in charge and that they're the community leadership and that they're this and that they're that. Own it. Say, I screwed up. I allowed this cop or cops to murder in cold blood Michael Brown Jr. for whatever reason. Apparently because he stole $50 worth of cigarillos. And by the way, that supposed theft, that supposed shoplifting, never ever occurred. There's proof and truth on Addicting Info, and I'll link it to this video. Proof and truth on addictinginfo.com that says that Michael Brown Jr. never ever once stole the cigarillos or anything else for that matter a day in his life. And anything that he got, anything that that child got, he paid for. Because he had a job. He had a roof over his head. He had clothes on his back. He had food in his stomach. He had an education. And he was going to take that education and further it before he died. Before he was murdered. Ron Johnson and Antonio French going to own up to that? They going to speak to that? Is Robert McCullough, the prosecuting attorney for the district, is he going to speak to that? Perhaps Miss Claire McCaskill, Senator Claire McCaskill, the senator for St. Louis. My God, my God. This is another individual who, in my estimation, is not playing with a full deck. When you have a sitting United States Senator, a supposed former prosecuting United States Attorney for St. Louis, the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County proper, U.S. Attorney, go on cable television, cable network news television last night on MSNBC, Lawrence O'Donnell show, The Last Word, went on there with one good eye and a straight face talking about, well, the process has to play out. The process has to play out. The evidence has to be examined. Witnesses have to be attended to. The crime scene has to be secure. Folks, there were two people involved in the incident on 9 August 2014. One of them was Michael Brown Jr., and he's dead. And the other one was a Ferguson police officer, and that's the thing I'm confused on. I've been paying attention. Anonymous. Thank God for Anonymous. I heart Anonymous. Anonymous is our friend. They are us and we are them. Okay? Bottom line. Period. Full stop. Anonymous got in there and got a name out. Initially, somebody said Darren Wilson, but I've heard some guy named Bynum Willem, or Williamson. And I'll link that to this video as well. Is it Darren Wilson who murdered Michael Brown on 9 August 2014, or is it Bynum Williamson who murdered Michael Brown Jr. on August 9 of 14? Who? Who murdered Michael Brown Jr. in cold blood on Campfield Drive? And where is the Ferguson police chief, Thomas Jackson? Where is Darren Wilson? Where is Bynum Williamson? Where are these three individuals? For all I know, they could be at a lake house somewhere playing poker and shooting the breeze. Where are they at? Has Ron Johnson got an accounting for them, since he's the head of the security, the head of the police state in Ferguson Township, Missouri? Does he know where they at? By all accounts, the answer to me is no. I'm not impressed with Mr. Ronald Johnson. I'm not impressed with Antonio French. I'm not impressed with Robert McCullough. I'm certainly not impressed with Claire McCaskill. I'm most definitely not impressed with Jay Nixon. And this is the thing, too. St. Louis Metro, St. Louis County, St. Louis proper. Major Democratic stronghold. Democrat Party, Democrat, progressive, all day. Jay Nixon is a Democrat. The death and the murder of Michael Brown Jr. happened on his watch too. Is he going to take ownership and responsibility for this? Is he going to answer up for one of his citizens being murdered by another one of his citizens on one of his streets in his state? I have yet to hear Jay Nixon say, I'm sorry and I take ownership for this. This happened on my watch. And then the other day we had a man, a 23-year-old man, shot and killed by police again in St. Louis, not too far from Ferguson itself. The Democrat Party in the state of Missouri look screwed up. Screwy. I mean, to hear it told and to have it said, the Democrats is in charge, and I'm a Democrat. I am a liberal Democrat, a libertarian Democrat, with emphasis on the word liberal and libertarian. I believe in gay marriage, pro-choice, states' rights, individual liberty and freedom. Do whatever you want to do behind your closed doors and your closed windows. I don't care. I don't care. But you cannot, in my humble estimation, allow or permit a free and equal citizen, a private individual, to be gunned down in cold blood on your street and not answer for it. Not give an accounting. You say, well, I want to walk amongst you and I'm sorry and I love you and I hear you, yada, yada, yada. Prove it. See, I can sit and gum bump all day just like the rest. But if I don't have any proof and truth, if I don't have any hustle behind the muscle, and I know I don't have any hustle behind the muscle, and all I'm doing is gum bumping, it don't matter. It don't matter one iota what I say. I could say anything. I could say that the sky is purple and the grass is silver. That don't make it so. But yet these community leaders and these heads of state and these various dignitaries, they want to talk about, well, the process needs to play out and you just need to go home. Quit marching. Quit marching in our streets. Quit protesting. Quit creating quote-unquote havoc, or we'll tear gas you, or we'll run you over with an armored personnel vehicle, or we'll beat you upside the head with a baton, or we'll threaten to kill you if you do this, that, thus, or so in our presence. Not good. Especially under an African American's watch. In Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson was appointed, handpicked by the governor of the state of Missouri. You go down there. You're there. You take care of this. African American himself. Where's the personage in that? Where is the community policing in that? The friend to friend, neighbor to neighbor. Because I'm not seeing it behind tear gas and rubber bullets. I'm not seeing it in ride-alongs with Craig Melvin from MSNBC to businesses talking about, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, my storefront got busted out. Your storefront got busted out because Ron Johnson didn't have the grapefruits and don't have the grapefruits to do his job. He wants to hide behind the police state, hide behind the martial law, hide behind the posse comitatus, hide behind the statist, the oligarch, the establishment. He must be, then therefore, by osmosis, he must be a puppet. He must be a willing participant. Dare I say, an Uncle Tom? Is Ronald Johnson an Uncle Tom? Is Antonio French an Uncle Tom? I don't know. Very strange to me. Very funny to me. Meantime, prosecuting attorney, county attorney, district attorney, Mr. McCullough, he don't seem to be at all interested in stepping aside. That's somebody else I don't trust as far as I could throw the man. I don't trust him. I just plain do not trust the man. I don't know what it is about him, but I don't like him and I don't trust him. And how he got his job without any kind of challenge or challengers is beyond me. But he did. I question it. I question. But the Democrats, they're in charge of that state. Yeah, it's a red state, and they're red state Democrats. I get all that. But you don't allow an 18-year-old child to be murdered on your street and not give no counting. Don't work. Don't work. Don't add up. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and this is all I'm going to say after this. You cannot not stand idly by or stand behind a police line or say you're trying to quell violence or keep peace or whatever and not be adversely affected. Especially when you have women and children, little babies, with their mamas and their daddies marching along with them. Bless their souls. Talking about hands up, don't shoot. That was just precious to me. I've seen that on the news of little babies, little 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old babies, just precious. Imitating and emulating, yeah, what their mamas and daddies is doing. I get all that, but it just was precious to me to see that on the news the other day. Beautiful. But you cannot be behind a police line or police barricade or an MRAP vehicle on a loudspeaker and not be affected. You can't. I don't care who you are, what you say you are, what your lot in life is. You cannot. Now, I don't know how the police state unwinds after it. I don't really care. But I hope they are. I hope they're getting some counseling. I hope that there's a chaplain there available to speak, a rabbi there, or a Muslim cleric, or perhaps a Sikh, or whatever other denomination that these men and these women may be or not. But there's somebody there for them to talk to. Because you cannot not be affected by this. And I hope too that the community leadership, the clergy in the community, the protester side of the ledger is offering counseling to the people that have been adversely affected by all this. I hope and I pray that. Because, my God, it's just too much. It's too much. And something needs to be done different. I don't know if it's going to come from Washington and Mr. Holder, or if it's going to come from the Attorney General's office. By the way, where is the state Attorney General for the state of Missouri? Where are they in all this? All we've seen and heard from is Jay Nixon and the Lieutenant Governor, whose name escapes me, forgive me, right now. That's all we've heard from. Where is the top cop for the state of Missouri? He's certainly not on the ground, or she is certainly not on the ground in Ferguson Township, Missouri. I can't recall. We're just now getting to know and see and understand and comprehend who the mayor of Ferguson Township, Missouri is. But where is the top cop for the state of Missouri at? It is, forgive me, it is ass crack backwards. what's going on in the Show Me State. It's like leadership can't find its butt with both hands, a flashlight, and instructions. But yet they want to holler about the outside agitators and the out-of-towners and the troublemakers. As if we're some sort of alien being. Quote unquote, those of us who are concerned, genuinely concerned, and who are on the ground and who have been marching with native Fergusonians, with native St. Louisans. We're regarded as outside agitators. Not good. I'll conclude with this. Good night and good luck, Ferguson. Godspeed.